What's up, everybody? Sam Dog, the infamous 253, coming at you with Dallas Stewart on the speakerphone for our divisional game picks for the NFL playoffs and divisional picks. Say what's up, Dallas.
What's going on, everybody? It was a pretty exciting wildcard weekend, and I hope it's an exciting divisional weekend.
Yeah,
the games were a lot of close games last weekend.
Yep. And obviously, we know as Seahawks fans, we're hoping for the best, with our team. And then, of course, now the top seeds finally get to play. The teams on the bye with the first round byes, like the 49ers playing the Vikings, the Packers playing us in the NFC side. And then, of course, you got the Texans playing the Chiefs. You got the Chiefs as the number 2 seed playing against the Texans. And you got the number 1 seeded Baltimore Ravens going up against the 6th seed Tennessee Titans, who came up of pulling off one of the best upsets of the wild card weekend, going into Foxborough and ending the New England Patriots season, which that was awesome to watch too. Yeah. All right, but first game we'll get into it. Tennessee Titans going up against the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson rested up now after taking practically, he got 2 weeks off since they decided to rest him for that last regular season game against the Pittsburgh Steelers and let RG3 play. And we all know RG3 ran the ball good on the ground, and it was Gus Edwards, and he didn't get hurt, obviously. And the Ravens ended up winning that Week 17 game where they rested all their starters against that banged-up Steelers team. But now they got to go up against the Tennessee Titans, where Derrick Henry, the league's leading rusher, and for good reason, too. Derrick Henry has had a hell of a year with the Tennessee Titans, and ever since they benched Marcus Mariota for Ryan Tannehill came in there and basically helped turn the Titans' season around. But we know it's going to be really tough for them going up against that Baltimore defense, and of course, how will that defense attack Lamar Jackson? Can they close the gaps in gap containment, which is how you basically shut down Lamar Jackson? But I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens in this one, but would I love to see an upset in this game? Absolutely. I would love to definitely see an upset because that's what the playoffs are, but we make the realistic pick on this one. So right now we're siding Baltimore, but would love to see an upset, but not that it really matters.
I'm going to go with Baltimore to move on to the AFC Championship. But if Tennessee's defense can somehow play like they did last week against New England, they could keep it close for a while.
Yeah, but I
expect Baltimore to win by probably 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm leaning toward that as well with Baltimore. We all know how good Baltimore is, but NFL playoffs, this is one of the best times of the year for the football season, and everybody loves a good upset, but I don't see it happening with this game. But would I love to see it? Absolutely. But if it happens, it happens. Skip Bayless is even saying that this could be a chance of an upset, but I'm leaning more towards the Ravens moving on to the AFC Championship with you.
Yeah.
All right, up next, we got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the San Francisco 49ers in Levi Stadium. Vikings coming off of a big win against the New Orleans Saints with a really good 13-3 Saints team, which they blew it again in overtime. And I'll tell you what, a win like that for Minnesota, that has to have the Vikings feeling like they can beat anyone. I mean, that win in New Orleans, that has to be a confidence booster. Minnesota played some good defense, although they did allow some big plays like the Taysom Hill 50-yard pass to who caught that 50-yard pass from Taysom Hill?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either. All I know is that the Vikings did win that game in overtime, and if you're a Viking and the Minnesota Vikings would have win like that, they gotta feel like they feel like they can beat anybody. And this San Francisco team, even with what happened with us in the last time we played against them, we all know that matchup, but they had a week off, but who knows, maybe them having a week off could turn out to be bad news for them, unless if they can get started hot early, hitting George Kittle earlier, and maybe getting Deebo Samuel going, and their running game with Raheem Mostert, Matt Breida, and Tevin Coleman. We know they still got that good running game, and then of course they got Jeff Wilson Jr. too. So how will the Niners come out attacking this game against the Minnesota Vikings? This one to me though, I mean, I'm not saying it because obviously with the rival, but I have a feeling, I kind of have one of those feelings that Minnesota could possibly go into Levi's and pull and go back-to-back weeks pulling an upset. But What are your thoughts on this, Dallas? I'm not making the pick quite yet, but what's your thoughts on this?
This has the makings of an upset, but I can't see the Vikings having back to back road wins.
Yeah, that's
So
the other thing.
we have to lean with a more rested team,
In the,
and I think
yeah.
The Niners defense will make just enough plays.
Yeah, but what about the Vikings defense with that's if they force, Garoppolo, if they get pressure on Garoppolo with Daniil Hunter and Everson Griffin and company, I think they could possibly make Garoppolo have a long day. A battle of two good defenses, that's for sure in this game. But I'm gonna lean toward the home team in this one and go San Francisco to get to the NFC Championship game. But don't be surprised if Minnesota somehow pulls it off and pulls an upset up and beats the Niners. That would be one thing to look out for as a potential upset in this game. But we're gonna lean toward the home team in this one and take San Francisco.
Yeah, and the reason why the Seahawks aren't playing tomorrow is because Minnesota pulled off that upset
Against New Orleans.
Against the Saints.
True that.
So that's why the Seahawks had to go to Green Bay.
Yeah, and that's not going to be no easy task going to Green Bay.
Yeah, and the Minnesota-San Francisco game is the first game of Saturday.
The first game of Saturday is actually the Tennessee Titans-Baltimore Ravens game.
No, it's San Francisco and Minnesota.
You sure?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm going to check that out really quick, guys. I just need to be sure about...
I believe you did the games backwards.
Yeah. Hold on, let me see for the schedule. Yeah, you're right. That's the 1:35 p.m. game, and the Titans and Ravens game is the night game. So sorry about that, guys. Did it out.
2-6 against ones tomorrow.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Titans and Ravens, Vikings and 49ers.
How about that? The 2-6 seeds both moved on. Wait, there's 3 wild card teams that are still alive.
Yep, us, Vikings, and the Titans. So yeah, that's the Saturday games. Up next, we got the 12:05 p.m. game for Sunday with the AFC South champion Houston Texans going on to take on the AFC West champs and number 2 seed Kansas City Chiefs. Texans barely squeaked out that win at home against the Buffalo Bills, where I really thought they should have kicked the field goal earlier, instead of going for it on 4th and inches, because they were in the position. I know they were trying to end the game, which they obviously failed at that, where we succeeded on that against the Pittsburgh Steelers, going for it on that 4th and inches. Remember, Dallas?
Yeah.
Texans tried to pull what we did against Pittsburgh to try and end their game against Buffalo, but failed and gave the Bills a chance to have Hauschka tie the game, and then it flipped back and forth, and then the Texans finally got that drive together. Watson breaks out of being sacked miraculously and hits that backup running back, and he gets it into easy field goal range for their field goal kicker, and it was an easy chip shot, and the Texans went on to just beat the Buffalo Bills by 3 points, and now they're here in Kansas City. Kansas City Chiefs, well rested, number 2 seed. How does Mahomes approach this one here? Because this Texans team did beat the Chiefs earlier in the regular season at Arrowhead Stadium, if you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good game too, and we were all surprised that Deshaun Watson and the Texans came out. But now the Texans have J.J. Watt back.
Yeah, and he made a huge difference last week.
Him and Whitney Merciless.
Yeah, they rattled Josh Allen, especially in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
I think that was the key to their comeback.
And that huge sack by J.J. Watt was the turning point.
When they held it, after Hopkins fumbled it, and they held him to 3 there and kept it at 16-0. It's because it just kept them within striking distance. If Buffalo goes up 20-0 there, it's lights out for Houston.
Yeah.
They would have had no chance.
Yeah. Could you see?
J.J. Watt kept them in. Their defense kept them in it by holding them to a field goal after Hopkins fumbled it.
I feel like this is going to be another one of the good games too, because both these teams played each other already this year. But I mean, could you see Houston probably going in and doing it again in Arrowhead a possibility, depending on how that defense plays.
I could see it, but
I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it.
This is a pretty big game for Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean towards the Chiefs in this one.
Yeah, I'm leaning toward the Chiefs, which would set up what could just be an absolutely epic AFC Championship game.
Yeah, possibly between the Chiefs and Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if anything happens, as we saw with the term any given Saturday and any given Sunday, I mean, especially with what the Titans did to the Patriots and then what the Vikings did to the Saints, it was a great wild card weekend.
The Texans, the quarterback matchup in that game is just going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. And last but not least, we got our game, the Seattle Seahawks going to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, my family bowl, because I have, and y'all met my cousin on one of the Red Zone reactions. My cousin Kyle is a Packers fan. My mom's side, obviously, a bunch of the family back over there in Wisconsin, a bunch of Packers fans. But living here longer, I was born 35 miles away from Green Bay, but then during the same year I was born, I moved to Washington State. Hence, I never got to know Wisconsin. I only got to know Washington State sports. Hence, being a diehard Seahawks fans for all the years that I've been in Washington. You know what I mean, Dallas? And you've heard this story before, but I still love my family. It's just every time when the Seahawks play the Packers, the family always goes back and forth about the matchups.
Yeah, this is gonna be tough. This is gonna be a tough one for Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, because you and me mentioned it. I was mentioning it with Brendan Nelson in the preview that we have to get in there and we have to go exercise demons. But the key to this one is obviously we have to get off. If we have the ball first, we got to get off to a fast start. We got to get DK Metcalf going early along with Tyler Lockett. And pass rush, we need to freaking be able to get pressure on Aaron Rodgers and try to shut down the running game of Aaron Jones. And then obviously we got to go up against Jimmy Graham and of course, Devontae Adams and other such receivers like Geronimo Allison, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Lazard. I mean, Green Bay's receiving core has been a question mark this year. But when Rodgers gets them going, then if he gets them going, though, I mean, and you've heard me say it before in the past years that I've done YouTube that I never sleep on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I know. One of the keys is we got to cut down on the penalties.
That's true, and then also we got
11 again. There's no way we're gonna win.
Yeah, and then of course we gotta try to shut down the Smith brothers of Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith on that Packers defense because they've been wreaking havoc. 25 with basically one has 13, the other has 12, so 25 combined sacks this year by the Smith brothers in Green Bay, and they got a good defense. Packers have a good defense, and I respect them because they're always good. Most of the years they've been doing it. They always seem to be good quarterback and good offense, and now they've got a good defense this year too.
Yeah, they have an improved defense this year.
Yeah, but I mean, if we can just play a perfect game and try to get out of Green Bay, I feel like we can go in and win this game. But I'm gonna lean toward. I hate to say it though. I mean, even when we pick against, don't get me wrong. Even if we make a pick, even if it's not in our favor, we still hope that our Seahawks win. We want to win this game bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think
we want to move on.
Yeah, as true fans, we have to we're realistic, but but we still have hope. We still pull for our guys to pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we already know what we're leaning towards. So we got to say, Green Bay because it's in Lambeau Field. But if we pull it off and end that drought, we would probably be, me and Dallas's post game video. We would probably be pretty pumped up if we were to pull it off.
Yeah.
Not assuming anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to lean with Green Bay. I just think that they're a healthier.
They're way healthier than Philly.
Team and they probably have a better team right now.
Yeah, they're definitely way healthier than Philadelphia. But last week in our playoff game win against Philadelphia, Seahawks set a playoff franchise record for most sacks in a playoff game with 7 sacks. So that's a new Seahawks postseason record as a team record.
They definitely they need to make Rodgers uncomfortable in the pocket.
And we need to make him throw interceptions, even if they're tipped off of some of the other receivers that he has, if not named Devontae Adams. And Trey Flowers needs to not. Shaquille Griffin needs to be sticking Adams like glue, and Trey Flowers needs to. If a ball's going in this area, he needs to be sure he's not grabbing a receiver. He needs to be sure that he's turned around to go for an interception, which he could have been doing against the Eagles, and not grabbing the guy and forcing a pass interference to set him up in good field position. So you got to get turned around and get interceptions.
Yeah.
And then obviously we got to get we need Jadeveon Clowney, Quentin Jefferson, and Jarran Reed to go out there and try to get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, which we all know it's hard to do with the offensive line Aaron Rodgers has and how quick that he's able to get the ball out of his hands, and then maintaining and trying to limit the damage that Aaron Jones can do on the ground and in the passing when he catches coming out of the backfield too.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones has had a good year. I mean,
and hopefully it's the cold we have to deal with and not the snow. Hopefully the snow holds off.
I think it's going to snow that morning, but the snow could hold. I think the snow will possibly hold off, but we'll have to just wait and see. And then also, Brandon did mention something about Green Bay's run defense too. Like, there have been teams that have been good at running the ball against the Packers too. So how much will we see us hand Travis Homer and Marshawn Lynch in this game, you know?
I think we'll run it quite a bit in this game.
Yeah. And that's basically our picks, but fellow 12s, let's just hope for the best going in there, and hope that our Seahawks can go in there and get a win and, you know, get an exercise. And like we did at Pittsburgh this year, now we have to exercise the Lambeau Field demons.
So we picked all the teams that are coming off of a bye.
Yeah.
So we picked all the top. So we think it's going to be 1-2 in the AFC Championship, and we think it's going to be 1 versus 2 in the NFC Championship.
Which we hope it's not, because if
we hope it's not.
But the best case scenario is if the Vikings beat the 49ers, and if we were somehow to beat the Packers, then the NFC Championship would be in Seattle. That would be a dream come true scenario, but we're not assuming.
It'd be a rematch of a Monday night game from December.
Yeah. Other than that, that's the picks. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. Me and Dallas appreciate you guys coming in here, showing love, giving us your thoughts in the comments down below too. And it's been a hell of a ride, guys. We're at 715 subscribers now, and let's keep the train rolling. Best of luck to all the teams, and may the best teams win, and all positive vibes from here on out. And let's just hope for the best, Dallas.
Yeah, that's why they play the game. You never know.
Yep. You kind of said it like Chris Berman. That's why they play the game.
Yep, the game's played on the field. The game's not played on paper.
It's not. Anyway, thank you all for coming in. And remember, if you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. And as always, go Seahawks.